In the misty depths of the Andean jungle, long before European sails broke through the horizon of the New World, the life of a people pulsated to the rhythm of ancient traditions. Here, in the shadow of gigantic trees that dug their roots deep into the earth's history, lay a village whose fate was inextricably intertwined with the whims and mysteries of nature. It was the home of the Quechua, a tribe whose existence was barely noticed by surrounding cultures, yet they preserved the legacy of a powerful empire. The village itself was a masterpiece of harmonious architecture, built from what the lush forest had to offer. Each building, each structure reflected the respect the Quechua had for nature. The center was the community square, surrounded by family houses covered with thatched roofs, under which life took place in a constant flow of give and take. Trade with the larger Inca cities brought variety to village life. Messengers came and went, laden with goods for exchange, finely woven fabrics that glowed with the vibrant colors of the rainforest, exotic fruits unknown outside the Andes, and elaborate ceramics that told stories of times gone by. These connections to the wider reaches of the empire created a vibrant network of knowledge and news that connected the village to the outside world. But beneath this surface of exchange and community, secrets simmered, hidden deep in the shadows of the Andes. The elders of the village, guardians of ancient knowledge, often met under the cover of darkness to interpret the signs that nature sent them. They knew that the mountain was both an ally and a guardian of mysteries that could not be disturbed lightly. In this magical place, where the echo of the past seemed to whisper in every gust of wind, Izel grew up, a boy whose spirit was as impetuous and wild as the harsh nature that surrounded his village. His childhood was marked by adventurous forays and a curiosity that seemed as deep and inexhaustible as the secrets that lay hidden in the heart of the mountains, whose eyes shone with an insatiable hunger for discovery, was known for his reckless bravery and his unbridled urge to go beyond the limits of the known. His personality was a kaleidoscope of contradictions, brave yet impetuous, clever yet often overcome by his own curiosity. Izel was the one who always went a little too far, always daring to venture a step further into the jungle than the elders allowed. His heart beat to the rhythm of the unexplored paths, and his mind danced with the shadows of the legends that surrounded his homeland. In his dreams he saw himself as the hero of ancient tales, solving riddles left untouched for generations and discovering wonders that his people dared only whisper about. But with this impetuous curiosity came a recklessness that often worried those close to him. Izel had the rare ability to get into trouble and yet, miraculously, emerge unscathed. His thirst for adventure was contagious, and it regularly put him and other young people in situations from which they could only escape through skill, luck, or both. Despite his youthful recklessness, Izel had a deep connection to his people and their culture. He revered the ancient Quechua traditions and clung to the stories of the elders who told of heroic deeds and the deep wisdom of the ancestors. These stories fed his soul and fired his imagination, but they also taught him respect for the forces of nature and the spirits that lurked in the shadows of the Andes. That night, enveloped in the silence of the mountains, Izel found it hard to sleep. The stories and warnings of the elders echoed in his mind, a constant murmur that fascinated and disturbed him. He lay awake, staring at the invisible ceiling of his room, while the sounds of the forest filtered through the walls like a distant melody. This nightly vigilance sharpened his resolve to explore the unknown and attuned his heart to the adventure that the coming day promised. When the first rays of the morning sun kissed his face, Izel was no longer the dreamer of the night. He was ready to face his destiny, driven by an anticipation that only the upcoming adventure with his father could awaken. The hunt was about to begin, a ritual that not only promised food but also offered a rare opportunity for father and son to strengthen a bond that had recently suffered from his father's numerous obligations. The Andes, a place of wild beauty and relentless challenges, were the stage for these joint ventures. The target of their hunt was the majestic vicuna, a creature whose grace and elegance seemed almost mystical in the golden morning light of the mountains. But as dawn broke and the first rays of sunlight bathed the mist-covered peaks in soft light, Izel found himself alone. his father, tied down by his duties as a village elder, had to make a sudden trip to the nearby Inca city of Cusco, a commercial center and spiritual heart of the empire, where important matters required his undivided attention. Disappointed and driven by a rebellious determination, Izel decided to hunt alone, a defiant proof of his independence and courage. Armed with a bow and arrow, he quietly slipped out of the village, driven by a desire to prove to himself and perhaps also to his father that he was up to the challenges of life. In the Andes, nature greeted him with its lush greenery and the polyphonic concert of its inhabitants. The air was filled with the scents of wildflowers and the earthy freshness of the morning. Izel moved through the undergrowth with the agility of a predator, his senses sharpened to every sound, every movement. Finally, at the edge of a clearing, he spotted his target, a magnificent vicuna, whose fur seemed to glow in the light of the rising sun. With calm breathing and a focused gaze, Izel released the arrow from the string. The shot, precise yet accompanied by an almost awe-inspiring silence, hit the animal, which, however, driven by a will to survive, fled into the Rocky Mountains. Determined, Izel began the pursuit. The hunt took him deeper into the Andes, far from the usual paths. The sun was already high in the sky when he finally found the vicuna's trail in a place that defied description. Before him rose an ancient city, overgrown with moss and lianas, a silent witness to past civilizations. The vicuna lay at the foot of the monumental steps, its life gently demanded by fate. In that moment of silence, amidst the awe that the ancient structure inspired in him, Izel understood that his path here was no accident. The building, hidden from the eyes of the world, seemed to have called to him, as if it had been waiting for his spirit. With a mixture of respect and an inexplicable attraction, Izel entered the interior, not knowing that this step would lead him on a dangerous journey beyond his wildest dreams. After he had hunted the vicuna with care, he felt the ancient knowledge of his ancestors pulsing through his veins. This ritual care of the animal, an act of gratitude and respect for the gifts of the earth, was more than just a duty, it was a bridge to the spirits of his ancestors. With his hands still marked by the life of nature, he turned towards a barely visible path that opened up behind a curtain of dense greenery. This path, it seemed, was meant just for him, an invitation to a world far beyond everyday existence. When Izel took his first step into the hidden city, almost swallowed up by the lush embrace of the jungle, he felt as if he had been transported to another time. Every stone, every ruin told a story of power, mysticism, and perhaps also a warning. It was as if the wind itself was whispering the legends of the past, and Izel sensed that this place hid many mysteries. As Izel ventured deeper into the heart of the forgotten city, the air thickened into a heavy, earthy aroma that hid centuries of decay and secrets. As he moved through the ruins, the silence was broken by a crackling sound that indicated the presence of pumas, the silent guardians of this lost city. To protect his vicuna from predators, he found refuge in a dilapidated defense tower. With hasty movements, he stacked stones at the entrance, an improvised closure to ward off the curiosity of the wild. A shiver ran down his spine as he looked over the crumbling structures, now covered in moss and roots, a testament to a bygone era. The sounds of the forest, the snapping of branches, the hissing of snakes crossing his path, and the distant roar of predators brought the ruins to life, a bittersweet echo of nature reclaiming what was once hers. In the dim daylight of the ancient ruined city, driven by a deep curiosity that lay deeper than any fear, he ventured into the intricate alleys of this ancient mystical city. He quickly constructed a torch from a scrap of cloth soaked in carefully collected tree resin and a sturdy wooden stick, a flickering light that pushed back the shadows, and began to explore the surrounding buildings. After a while, a structure rose before him that looked more like a majestic monument than a simple building. With careful steps he entered the interior, wandering through the uncertain architecture, whose exact purpose, temple or pyramid, remained obscure. His footsteps echoed through the vast, empty rooms as he explored every corner of this mysterious place that holds more secrets than the eye can meet. He moved forward cautiously, exploring every corner of the temple, his footsteps echoing in the empty halls. old cobwebs covered the stone walls, and colonies of ants had made their home in the cracks and crevices, a testament to the long period of decay.